Our movie opens up with an old man running through the woods from something big while following an ancient map that leads him to some kind of cave system. However, some bad guy shows up in a hoodie and gives him a villain speech about how his plan has failed and shoots him. They always gotta say something before they shoot you. That's what I don't get. And then, something large attacks the hooded man and he dies too. We then meet our protagonist Nick, who's on his way to meet his little brother Tristan. The old man from the beginning of the movie is his grandpa. Nick arrives with his dog Max and starts looking for Tristan because he's not in the house. He ventures out deep into the new property and soon he finds a carcass of some dead animal. Then Tristan shows up and after some greetings and small talk, they get back inside the house and then Tristan shows his brother his grandfather's testament to him, who discovers that the old man left all of his land to a local Aboriginal tribe. And then Tristan tells Nick that some local guy wants to buy the land off of them for some really good money. So they get conflicted about what to do next. So they walk around by that carcass from earlier and they start to think about things. And later that day, they get a visit from a tribe member, Garvey, who asks how the property thing is going. Tristan lies saying that everything is okay to conceal the fact that he wants to sell. And later at night, as they were chilling outside, they hear really disturbing screams. And when they walk inside the house, they don't find anything. And then they hear the screams outside, but when they walk out, there's still nothing. And the next day, Tristan's friend arrived for a party. So it's time to introduce them. BJ is the arrogant, egocentric jerk, and then we have a druggy couple, Kate and Jason. And then there's also Tristan's crush, Rebecca, and Nick's ex-fiancée, Anya. That's a nice name, right? Anya. The party happens. Tristan ends up with Rebecca, if you know what I mean. And then Nick and Anya do the whole, we didn't really need to break up, and now we're gonna try to mend things deal. That never gets old. And suddenly, BJ and the others hear some noises. And they ask Jason, who's super high, to go out and investigate. And of course he gets lost and ends up seeing something that makes him scream at the top of his lungs. And Nick hears him and he quickly ventures out to find him, and he manages to do that with ease. And as he helps Jason get up, he sees a pair of red glowing eyes watching him from the bushes. Anya interrupts Tristan's and Rebecca's session to inform them about Jason and Nick. They arrive at the place immediately, and Nick tells them that everything is okay and that he didn't see anything, especially not a pair of weird glowing eyes. And the next day, Nick talks to his grandpa and through conversation finds out that he was into cryptids, and not liked them in a romantic way, he was a cryptozoologist. If you don't know what that is, it's like somebody that studies legendary monsters and stuff, like unicorns or the Bigfoot. And I know there are some of you out there who believe in Bigfoot. It's not real, okay? There's no such thing. Anyways, moving on. Later, Nick drives Tristan and Anya to the city so that they can get some groceries. And while he waits for them, he does some research on cryptozoology and cryptids in general. And after they get back home, Rebecca decides to go for a swim. She asks Kate to join her, but she wasn't really feeling like getting wet today. So Rebecca heads over there alone, and she hears this disturbing noise, so she quickly runs away and she jumps inside the lake. And suddenly, she senses that something is in the water with her. And it turns out that it's just BJ screwing around. And Nick and the others visit Richards, a guy whose client wants to buy the property. And Tristan tells Richard that he wants to sell it right now and close the deal. So Richard hands him the contract. However, Nick notices a pair of night vision goggles in a random box and realizes that Richards was actually stalking Jason last night. Nick then tells Richards to give him a few days to think about the offer, and they all leave Richards' office. And obviously the two start fighting, and Nick tries to explain himself, but it doesn't really work. And as things settled down and everything went back to normal, well, somewhat normal, until they notice Rebecca is missing. And when they go out looking for her, they only find a towel. And a fisherman sees Rebecca, who now has white eyes, and the guys were questioning BJ because he was the last person that saw her. And he manages to convince them that he didn't do anything to her. And that night, Nick and Anya drive to Richard's place so that Nick could check if there's anything suspicious in his office. They pull up in BJ's van and suddenly Richard shows up with his friends. And as they walk up to the van, Nick hides and Richard asks Anya what she's doing there. And she tells him that her car broke down and that's why she's here. And that she's also waiting for her fiancé to come pick her up. And after she told him this, Richard believes her and soon leaves with his friends. And the group at the house splits up to search for Rebecca once again. So Tristan goes with BJ, Kate goes with Jason, and suddenly Tristan sees a new Rebecca. and he doesn't pay any attention to her ghoulish eyes, and she invites him into the water. And he kind of like listens to her, but he snaps out of it. And then we cut to Kate and Jason being chased by a hidden monster. They jump into the lake, and only Jason manages to swim to shore because the creature pulls Kate into the water. The guys freak out and flee to the house, and there's a bunch of armed men led by Tristan and Nick's father, Sam. And Sam gives us some exposition, explaining to Tristan that he and his fellas are hunting the creature that is lurking around. Their only motive is sweet, sweet money. Tristan decides to join his father together with BJ and Jason. Nick finds a bunch of military equipment at Richard's office, and he goes outside. He sees Garvey and his tribe waiting for him there. Garvey takes him to a secret tribe meeting and emphasizes that they need to slay the creature that lurks in the woods before he snatches the third girl, because then it will be unstoppable. Apparently, the blood of beautiful girls makes this creature amazingly profound and powerful. Who knew? Garvey then shows some magic weapons to Nick and explains how deadly they are to the monster. Anya sees that Nick is having a good time with the tribe, so she goes back to the house where someone attacks and kidnaps her. She wakes in the middle of the woods, and as you probably guessed, Richards kidnapped her, and now Sam plans to use her as bait for the monster, because she's cute and she's a girl. The monster appears, obviously, and everything goes to hell because the hunters are so prideful and arrogant, thinking that they can easily capture this animal. And after humbling them and killing a whole lot of them, they manage to capture it. But oh no, their tranquilizer things don't work on it, and not even electricity works. And it breaks free, and it starts killing them again. And BJ and Jason decide to escape by the van. Tristan joins them, but Anya fails to do so. And then Richard attacks her, and she manages to get him off her and escapes into the woods. He tries to follow her, but the monster kills him as well. And when Anya thought that everything was over, Sam shows up and he captures her. And nearby, Tristan is arguing with BJ, and eventually they decide to turn back and get Anya. And as they start driving, the monster attacks them, and they crash. BJ discovers that Jason is dead, and then Rebecca shows up, and Tristan wakes up in a cave next to a heavily wounded BJ, who soon gets eaten by the monster. And in the early morning, Nick returns home after a wild night with the tribe, only to find that the house is empty. And Sam takes Anya to the monster's lair because he still wants to capture it. And what better way to lure this demonic monster than a very cute, ripe woman? And Nick meets with Garvey, and together they head to the cave system to defeat the monster. They arrive just in time as the monster was about to turn Anya into his servant, while Rebecca and Kate stand there menacingly white with their ghoulish white eyes. Nick starts fighting with Sam, who reveals that he's killed their cryptozoologist, Granddad, because he wanted the property for himself. And at the same time, Garvey meets the monster head on and pulls out two of these coolest boomerangs you've ever seen and attacks it. And not gonna lie, Garvey is hell of a cool guy, by the way. Nick beats Sam and saves the girl and Tristan, and as they were about to leave the cave, Sam shoots Nick, and Nick tells Tristan to run away, and then he attacks his father. Nick could just leave the cave together with Tristan, or they could just try to take him down and escape together, but whatever. Nick and Sam have another boring fight while Garvey is still messing around with the monster. At least he pulls out an ancient instrument and defeats it. However, the power of the instrument is so immense that it destroys the whole cave, killing everyone in it. And Tristan runs home where the girls are waiting, and he informs Anya that Nick died. The next day, the survivors leave the house together with the dog Max, and the movie ends. The greatest thing that they did in this movie is they didn't kill the dog, because that would have been horrible. I mean, don't ever kill the dog, just kill all the people, okay? Phew. Anyways, I will see you guys on the next recap. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and most of all, leave a comment, because I love hearing from you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.